Hey, I'm Rio Illustrates back with another video. This one is a little bit different. I decided to make a colouring video in my newest sketchbook, which is the Stillman & Byrne Zeta sketchbook, which is 270 GSM, has 50 pages and is 7x10, which is a B5 size. I got it from Jackson Art, and this video I'm colouring my drawing for a cover page. When we get to the space, I've slowed that down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, because everyone always asks me how I do that. Also at the end, I show how amazing this journal is by flipping over the page so you can see it after I've coloured it and even added Posca markers. I'm using Prismacolor pencils for the space background, Polychromos pencils and Luminance pencils for everything else. For the white and black in this image, I am using Posca white and black. I find the Posca black really makes my pencil colour pop out, so I love using those. I thought I'd make this video so I could answer a question I've got a lot over on Instagram, and the question is, why did you stop bullet journaling? Since I can't answer that properly on Instagram, I thought I'd just sit and talk to you about it. The first reason is, bullet journals aren't good for coloured pencils. None of them really are, because a lot of them have coated paper, pencil sits on top of the paper and fades even when you use light fast pencils, and transfers even when I use fixative. I wanted my pencil to last years because I want my daughter to have them in the future. Not only last a few months because chunks of it has fallen off the page. Oh, it made me so sad when I opened my book and found some of my colouring not on the page anymore. I'm not going to mention brands here, I'm not going to be spilling the tea or anything, but no, I've tried all of them and wasted a lot of money in the process. And I only have faded colourings to show for it. I naively thought if I paid more money I'd get more quality. Nope. It is true with sketchbooks and any other paper on the planet, but definitely not bullet journals. I was brand new to art on paper when I first started bullet journaling, so most of it was my fault, expecting this high quality paper, but I know how much sketchbooks cost because I buy them for my daughter all the time, and it didn't make much sense to me why they were so expensive. Unless someone is hand painting the dots on the paper, then, well, maybe I can understand. Now, as I've mentioned, the sketchbook I'm using here has 270 GSM paper. With pencils you need that thickness, otherwise burnishing will dent the paper. It's brilliant and there's not a bullet journal like it. If you do art, I highly recommend getting a sketchbook instead. Any sketchbook is better than bullet journals. The second reason I stopped bullet journaling is I have health conditions, some physical but mostly mental health. I have bipolar disorder amongst other things, which I won't bore you with because my medical notes look like its own medical manual of ways in which brains can break. Bullet journaling is apparently about productivity. You have to be productive if you have one, says many people. I just think, never has writing notes in a book come with so many rules, but apparently you are supposed to be productive and be productive all the time. I am not, because my health conditions make it so it's impossible to be productive sometimes. When I started bullet journaling, I was actually in a diagnosed by doctors crisis, and had the crisis team visiting me daily. They are lovely mental health nurses who come to your house every day, so you don't have to be hospitalised. My meds weren't working anymore and I was really not well. That just happens sometimes when I get used to my meds, and usually they need adjusting. So I started drawing over the pages to make out my week was better than it was, because if you draw over an entire page there's less place to write stuff. But even then my weeks would sometimes still be empty, and the only thing I did was the art. Now, before I go on to the next bit, I have made some absolutely wonderful friends from bullet journaling on Instagram who have supported me throughout all of this, who have been kind and generally amazing people and have never once mentioned the productivity word to me, and my life is so much better because they are in it. I appreciate and, well, love them actually. They have been nothing but supportive. But I couldn't get the "you need to be productive" people out of my head. I'd post a bipolar mood chart thinking, oh, I might help people in the same boat as me with this, and I had some comments about how negative this was. No wonder you have bipolar if you have that mood chart. That's not how it works, but okay. That's too negative, because apparently mood charts are only for mentally healthy people, despite the fact a mood chart is one of the first things I had from a psychiatrist, long before bullet journaling existed. I'd get people telling me that I'm doing it wrong sometimes just because I'm not productive enough because I do art on my pages. The only thing that was helping me though was the art I was doing, the art that people were telling me off for doing. The whole productive word thing made me feel less than. It made me feel more broken that I couldn't choose happy, a quote people just love to use. Now, if choose happy works for you, I'm really glad, but it's not my reality and you shouldn't force that on others. I wanted to be able to be me, but the choose happy wasn't something I could do. I have bipolar whether I like it or not. It is a part of me. I didn't choose it and I can't choose not to have it. It's not the only thing about me at all. It's a side note on the list of what makes me me, but it's there. I'm an optimistic person. I get actually excited about stuff all the time. Even when I'm actually depressed or in a crisis, I'm over here like, oh my god, I found this Mass Effect thing on the internet and it's so good. And my face literally turns into the I heart emoji. I'm not sure if that's the right use of literally, but you'll have to decide that for yourself. My therapists always say, it was so great working with you. And my crisis team nurses, who basically mostly know who I am by now, say, I just love coming to your house because you work really hard and I'm invested in what they're saying. Apart from one time when they gave me new meds that did not agree with me, but we're cool now, I think. Health service staff often ask to work with me afterwards, and that's how I've ended up working voluntarily for the mental health team. I do all sorts of mental health stuff for them. Videos, comics, presentations. One of them is on YouTube. It was for a DVD. I've done a lot. That literally came out of my positivity. Everything I've posted on Instagram is the truth. I was that happy about donuts. Yes, I really do love Mass Effect that much that I could do constant fan art, but I really struggled posting about anything else. I drew things in the DBT therapy I just had, and my therapist loved them so much and thought they were really helpful. I didn't post them. I couldn't. I didn't want to feel less than. People believed being optimistic and having mental health issues doesn't exist, but I'm sorry, that's not true. I'd have been cured years ago, because despite my mental health issues, I've always been positive. So I asked myself, what can I do? What would help me? What would make me more able to be me? Just doing the art on actual art paper, because that's always what helps me the most. And being myself always. When I'm not allowed to be who I am, I struggle. It's like multiple episodes of Black Mirror, and it's partly watching that made me question things. So now I draw stuff, and I will include more mental health stuff because I'm working now again with the NHS thanks to that therapy I just had, and screw fake happiness. It's kind of ironic how this fake positivity makes people sad and is actually quite toxic. I'd rather anyone be who you are than pretend you're happy when you're not. Then I can say, how about a chat? And do my best to lift you up, with that thing called empathy. And most likely send you lots of memes because memes are awesome. So those are the reasons I don't do bullet journaling anymore. I still think it's a fantastic concept and still follow people doing just that on Instagram. And if it's helpful for you, I'm so glad. But I hope to move more away from that and do my own kind of journaling, one that benefits me and doesn't make me feel broken or that I'm doing something wrong. I just want the space and rainbows part of it, which is what I still post. I have a lot to thank bullet journaling for, me and my friends, getting me into doing art every day. But like any relationship, you got to know when to say goodbye if it isn't healthy. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this video now. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, leave a like, and if you're new, subscribe. I'm going to be posting more regularly. Take care, lovelies.
you.